Right now, somewhere in your city, a store is closing. The signs in the windows say everything must go. 70% off. Final days. But here's the thing nobody tells you. When the last customer walks out and the lights go off for good, the shelves are almost never empty. There are still shoes in boxes, shirts on hangers, electronics in sealed packaging, food on pallets. Thousands, sometimes millions of dollars worth of perfectly good merchandise sitting in a dark room with no one left to sell it. What happens to all of it is a story that winds through liquidation warehouses, overseas cargo ships, industrial shredders, and landfills the size of small towns. And at every step, someone is making money, just not the company that closed. This is where dead retail goes. First, let's understand the scale. In the United States alone, roughly 12,000 retail stores closed in a single recent year. Some were small boutiques, some were national chains with hundreds of locations, each one holding inventory worth tens of thousands of dollars. When a major chain like Bed Bath & Beyond or Toys R Us shuts down, the total unsold inventory across all stores can reach into the hundreds of millions of dollars. That merchandise doesn't vanish. It enters a shadow economy that most consumers never see, a parallel retail universe where the normal rules of branding, pricing, and customer experience simply don't apply. The first stop is almost always a liquidation company. These are firms that specialize in buying dead inventory, and they are remarkably efficient at it. The moment a retailer announces its closing, liquidators circle like wolves. They offer to buy the entire remaining inventory in bulk, everything, every category, every size, every color, no cherry picking. But the price they offer is brutal. A liquidator might pay 5 to 20 cents on the dollar for goods that were selling at full retail price last month. A $1,000 television becomes a $50 line item on a spreadsheet. A rack of designer coats worth $30,000 sells for $3,000. As a lot, take it or leave it. The retailer, desperate to convert dead stock into cash before creditors and landlords close in, almost always takes it. What happens next depends on the type of merchandise. The most desirable goods, electronics, branded clothing, tools, home goods in good condition, enter what the industry calls the secondary market. Liquidators sort, grade, and repackage these items, then sell them onward to a network of buyers most consumers have never heard of. Discount chains like TJ Maxx and Marshalls draw some of their inventory from these channels. Online resellers buy pallets sight unseen and flip individual items on Amazon or eBay for a profit. Dollar stores stock their shelves with branded goods that once sat in a department store under halogen lights with a price tag 4 times higher. And in a growing trend, entire truckloads of liquidated merchandise are shipped overseas to markets in Africa, South America, and Southeast Asia, where American and European brands carry enormous cachet, and consumers are happy to buy last season's stock at a fraction of the original price. But not everything finds a second life. Here's where the story gets darker. Goods that are damaged, expired, out of season, or simply not worth the cost of sorting and shipping face a different fatigue. Some of it goes to donation, and the charitable angle is real, but smaller than most people think. Large retailers do donate to organizations that distribute goods to people in need. But donations come with logistics costs, liability concerns, and tax paperwork. And when a company is in bankruptcy, the lawyers managing the process are optimizing for creditor payouts, not goodwill. Donation is a line item, not a mission. What doesn't sell and doesn't get donated enters the waste stream, and the waste stream is enormous. Every year, billions of dollars worth of unsold consumer goods are destroyed in the United States alone, not just from closing stores, but from the normal operations of retail, overstock, returns, seasonal leftovers, goods with damaged packaging that no customer will touch even though the product inside is perfect. Some of this is incinerated, some is compacted and buried in landfills. Fashion is among the worst offenders. Luxury brands have been caught incinerating millions of dollars worth of unsold clothing, handbags, shoes, and perfume rather than allowing it to be sold at a discount, because selling a premium product cheaply damages the brand's image more than destroying it does. A handbag that retails for $2,000 cannot appear in a discount bin for $99 without undermining every other handbag still on the shelf at full price. The economics of prestige, it turns out, sometimes require a bonfire, and until very recently, there were no laws stopping them. The European Union has only just begun to introduce regulations banning the destruction of unsold textiles, a rule that wouldn't exist if the practice weren't widespread. There is another category that most people don't consider: food. When a grocery store closes, the perishable inventory has days, sometimes hours. Frozen goods can be transferred if a truck is available. Dairy, produce, and bakery items usually cannot. Food banks scramble to accept what they can, but capacity is limited and timing is brutal. What isn't rescued goes to waste, and the numbers are staggering. The United States throws away nearly 80 million tons of food per year across the entire supply chain, and store closures contribute a painful share of that total. A closed supermarket with full refrigerators that lose power becomes, within 48 hours, a building full of biohazard that requires professional cleanup crews to handle. Then there are the fixtures. When people think about a closing store, they think about the merchandise. But the shelves themselves, the display cases, the mannequins, the point-of-sale systems, the security cameras, the industrial refrigerators, all of that has value too. Fixture liquidators specialize in stripping a retail space down to bare walls and selling everything that isn't bolted to the foundation. A single closed department store can yield hundreds of thousands of dollars in fixtures alone. Those glass display cases end up in independent jewelry shops. Those clothing racks end up in thrift stores. The neon sign that once hung over the entrance ends up in someone's garage, bought on an auction site for $50 as a piece of nostalgia. And in the last few years, a strange new consumer culture has grown up around all of this. Liquidation pallets, shrink-wrapped bundles of random merchandise from closed or overstocked stores, are now sold directly to the public. You can buy a pallet of unknown Amazon returns for a few $100s and open it on camera for a YouTube audience. The appeal is pure gambling. You might get a laptop, you might get 40 phone cases. An entire genre of content creators has built audiences around the thrill of the unboxing, turning corporate waste into entertainment. The pallet might contain a $3,000 espresso machine next to a bag of dog toys and a broken vacuum cleaner. Nobody knows until the plastic comes off, and that uncertainty is precisely the point. The retail industry runs on a beautiful illusion that the right product will always meet the right customer at the right moment. Every store layout, every marketing campaign, every supply chain algorithm is designed to make that meeting happen. But the math never works perfectly. There is always surplus. There is always waste. And when a store closes, the illusion drops all at once, revealing the sheer volume of physical stuff that the system produces and cannot absorb. A closed store is not a failure of one business. It's a snapshot of the gap between how much we make and how much we actually need. The next time you walk past a store with closing sale signs in the window, look past the discounts. Behind those walls is a machine already in motion. Liquidators on the phone, trucks being scheduled, pallets being wrapped, and somewhere at the end of the chain, a landfill getting a little bit taller. The merchandise will scatter in a dozen directions, and within a few months, the store itself will be unrecognizable, gutted, repainted, leased to someone new, ready to fill with a fresh set of products that will, statistically, follow the same path eventually. But closing stores aren't even the strangest place where something valuable goes to waste because the timing didn't work out. Every day, people roll up their sleeves and donate blood to save lives. But donated blood has an expiration date, and when that date passes, the bag is still full, still red, still warm with good intentions. What happens to it next is a journey most donors never learn about, and it raises a question that's harder to answer than it sounds. That story is next. And if you don't want to miss it, you know what to do.